standing there as Coach Fab Flournoy was having a little look around.
Harrison Gamble going to come in for the first time, replaced by replacing Anderson.
Well, if somebody can make a shot for the Riders, hopefully Gamble can. The best three-point shooter on the team.
He's been struggling a little bit with injury this last week. Here's Cook. Cook, a tough pull-up, just hits the front of the ring. Sullivan rips that rebound away from Flournoy.
You know, Cook's one of those guys, he can either go 9 for 11 or 1 for 11. He just has, it can be infuriating because he's got so much skill.
Sullivan lost the ball, got it back, and went to the finger roll for 2.
Oh, dear. That's 2 fouls against the Leicester Riders in this first minute and a half of the second quarter. Another 2, they'll be in the bonus, and that won't be a good thing, especially with this speedy guy coming in, Paul Goes.
Well, it's Lasker who sits down, so too is Marty getting a break. It's interesting that they kept that pressure with Gamble guarding Flournoy. They kept pressuring him all the way up the court.
Well, that's not a good look, really. Harrison Gamble's a long, big lad. He can't get down to the ball, hence that foul.
High screen, and Gores fires up for 3 off the mark. Rebound, Connor Washington. Washington drives to the hole, throws it up, oh, and it's jammed down by Jay Kuznot.
There he was poaching at the basket again. He tipped one in just a minute ago, Daniel. Threw that one down.
That's almost lost out of bounds. It is lost out of bounds. Cook just standing on the line. And just as Newcastle looked like they had the momentum, what, a minute or so ago, Leicester have snatched it back.
The beauty of this game, Daniel. Don't count any chickens till those eggs have come out.
Gamble gets it to Flournoy. Defoe all the way out on Sullivan. Sullivan, tough shot, and short. Here goes Gores, who just lost it. And that allowed Washington to respond. Cross court, Smith open for 3, little short. Kuznov with the rebound, and I think Defoe caught him on the rebound.
Yep. Darius is having a tough final, Daniel. He's not able to get anything to go, not being able to find a rhythm, not being able to find a good look.
First personal foul on Defoe. He's 0-4 shooting.
That's it. And then in that last offense, Paul Gores again, you know, under control, didn't do anything wild, did what his coach would want him to do. So you can see he's trying to stay within the team philosophy. Doesn't want another foul here, though.
Sullivan goes down low to Hassan. Back out to Sullivan. Kuznov from behind the arc. No, Leicester have had 2 or 3 do that. Gores gets the rebound. Leicester 0 of 9 now from behind the arc. Smith drives in, has it knocked away by Kuznov. And the foul is called on the other side on Sullivan.
Experience again. There wasn't really a gap there, but Smith found a way to thread it.
Rob Paternostro going to call a timeout. 7:23 left here in this first half. It's a 2-point Eagles lead, but Charles Smith going to the free throw line where he's perfect in 5 attempts today.
Well, Daniel, you said that, you know, the Riders wouldn't be too upset at 16-20. Well, they've played even worse at the start of this second quarter, and it's only 18-20, so, you know.
Well, Paternostro, a chat with the official and his assistant coach, Mark Jarriman there. I think just feeling a little frustrated that this call is called here and that call's not called down the other end seemed to be the body language of what he was saying.
Yeah, a little tough, and you know, as coaches, we're always critical of those things, but really, this game isn't about that right now. This game is about percentages, and it's about the percentage attempts at the bucket. The Riders struggling to find the shots they normally find. But the thing is, you know what kind of defense Newcastle is going to play. You know where your shots are going to come from, so they should be looking to exploit that a little bit more on the weak side of the Newcastle Eagles defense. And when I say the weak side, I mean the side away from the basketball.
Well, Newcastle are the best offensive rebounding team in the league this season, but it's Leicester who've done that job here so far today. 8 of their 20 rebounds coming at the offensive end, and it's allowed them 8 second half 8 second chance points, so almost half of their total come from second opportunities. You can think of a couple from Kuznard, the tip-in and the dunk down. Here's Smith, yet to miss from this distance.
The thing with those statistics, Daniel, is, you know, they don't, as Smith does what he does best, they don't tell you about the fact that you're missing all your shots, so there's going to be more rebounds for you to make there. You know, the fact is, you know, at the end of the day, you've got to be efficient at the shots that the defense gives you, and right now, the Eagles are telling the Riders where those shots are going to come from.
Charles Smith, 14 points, leads all scorers. 14 out of 22. So you can look at that as a positive or a negative. Washington trying to find somewhere baseline, gets it back to, good hands from Defoe to knock it loose. Gores behind the back, just lost his footing, and Leicester were able to recover.
Look at that from Gores again, Daniel, nice and patient, composed, finds Charles Smith. Everybody gets away, out the way, nice pass.
Gets it to Cook and goes through Sullivan for 2. Newcastle's lead back up to 6. Sullivan, cross court. Kuznov gets up in the air, gets it to Hassan. Hassan loses his footing. He's on the floor. That'll be a jump ball situation. Possession arrow says Leicester keep it. They only have 8 on the shot clock.
That's right. You know, we talked about the philosophy of the organizations, Daniel, and Coach Flournoy, you know, very specific about what he wants his team to do defensively. They funnel you down the sidelines, they front the low post around the basket and force you to try and pass into the crowd. The far side, on the opposite side, is where the opportunities lie, and right now the Leicester Riders can't see those opportunities.
Sullivan to inbound, gets it into Gamble. Gamble drives baseline, and Smith thought he was going to shoot, and when he saw him put the ball down, had to commit the foul.
Well, you know, on the board in the Eagles changing room will be no 3-point shots for Harrison Gamble, because he's shown that, you know, his little introduction into the BBL this season, 17 games old, he's found a way to score from that spot. Charles
Smith gets a break. 14.6 rebounds so far for Smith. Here's Calvo. Calvo gets past Gores, gets it to Hassan. Hassan spinning back. Good defense from Defoe, and Martin grabs the rebound.
The Riders need to find their defensive intensity.
Nice from Gores, and what he does is the way he splits through.
And then when the thing is, when he also hits you, Danny, he's got those big shoulders for a little fella, you know, he's able to hold himself up there.
Newcastle's lead now out to 8. Sullivan drives in. Sullivan got fouled, not quite though.
Yeah, the sweep through move from Sullivan, decided to attack the basket. Your best chance of attacking the basket against the Eagles is from the top, because their defense hasn't forced you to a side, and that's what Sullivan, obviously an ex-Eagle, just did.
Second personal foul on Scott Martin. Sullivan, who missed both on his first trip to the free throw line, is there once again.
Needs both to get to his average.
Makes the first one. Leicester just 5 of 12 from the free throw line. Add that to 0 of 9 from the three-point line. Misses the second. Hassan tips it up in the air, and Calvo backs it out to Sullivan. Calvo waves away Gamble to the other side. To the high post comes Hassan. Hassan puts it on the floor. Hassan drives, doesn't quite convert. Ball comes down in Gamble's hands, but it's stolen away by Gores. Gores again looking to penetrate, kicks out. Cook open for 3, doesn't go. Batted away by Gamble, but only as far as Flournoy.
I think Cook's yet to make a 3-point shot today either.
Smith's the only one who's made one, isn't he?
Offensive foul
on Malik Cook.
The blanket that's called Calvo all over Cook. He tried to swat him off like a fly, but you can't do that in this game.
Anthony Rowe back in for Gamble. Midway through the second quarter, 19 Leicester, 16 Newcastle. BBL Cup Final 2014 here at the National Indoor Arena. Hassan Kuznot drives baseline, has that batted up in the air, and it hit the back of the ring, so it'll be a Leicester ball.
Good things won't happen when you go down that alley.
Only 4 on the shot clock. Did they see it? Rob Paternostro sees it now and he's screaming at Sullivan. Sullivan goes, yeah, I know. I'm paying attention, coach.
Oh,
Hassan with the spin. Hassan fires it up, doesn't quite go. Rowe bats it up in the air and then tips it out. And Calvo gets it for Leicester. Another offensive rebound. Sullivan from behind the arc. Still they can't get one to go. 0 of 10 Leicester. Here's Gores, he has numbers. Gets it to Martin and Martin lays it in.
Great pass from Paul Ghosh. Switched the ball from left to right and threw the bounce pass in for Martin.
9 points now, Newcastle's lead. Sullivan drives baseline, gets it. Again, they've tried that a few times.
That's not going to happen against the Newcastle Eagles because they force you to the side, Daniel, and the guy guarding the guy under the basket goes in front of him, so there's nowhere to go. What you've got to do is attack from the top.
Sullivan spins baseline, no help that time, and Sullivan jams it down.
Andrew Sullivan, frustration for all of the first half so far, throws it down on the spin move on the baseline.
Calvo knocked that loose for a second there, but Defoe got it back. Gores from behind the arc. He doesn't convert. Defoe, good rebound. Goes back up off the glass. Super play from Darius Defoe.
You know, that's what Darius does so well. He's such a big body, a strong athlete. Rises up, secures the rebound, and goes right back up again.
Calvo picks the ball up a bit early there, and he did get it to Rowe, but Defoe is called for reaching around. He punched the air, a bit frustrated with himself. And that's Darius' second personal foul.
Well, they have shared the fouls around in this first half. 2 for Darius, 2 for Fab, 2 for Paul Gores.
Martin also on 2.
Yeah.
They're also, amazingly, considering how quickly those first 3 Leicester fouls came in this quarter, it's Newcastle who've got over the limit first.
Yes, that's true. Very true.
Rowe is at the foul line shooting a couple.
But I guess Riders have only seemed to have fouled Smith.
And Leicester's woes from this distance continue.
I guess maybe they'll need to take twice as many then. Anthony Rowe trying to find a way in. He's been in and out of the team, starting 5 this season, trying to find a solid role for himself in here, and this is an opportunity here.
Missed them both. And Flanoy with the rebound. Leicester have given away 10 points from the free throw line, and they trail by 9. Let you do the maths on that one. Cook's shot doesn't go, and Rowe grabs the rebound. Sullivan, a little stop and go, tosses it up, and Cook Gores comes down with it. Got to stop the ball.
Nice and composed again, didn't rush it.
Martin got the quick step, goes back the other way. Probably did a little more than he needed there. He'd already lost Hassan.
Yeah. And you see, Newcastle can relax on Calvo. Not really a scoring threat.
Ooh, good hands from Gores, but he couldn't beat the ball to the sideline. And that's where they do miss down. Somebody could break the team down.
Absolutely.
And finish. Whereas Calvo can break people down, but he's always looking for the distribution.
I don't know why the Leicester Riders haven't gone further up court to try and press the team. That might be something that comes in the second half when Coach Paternostro is reviewing the first, because they need to change the pace of this game a little bit. They need to bring some things to their own effect.
Kuznor gets in close off the glass.
Wow, that is a tough shot.
He's up to 8. He leads his team.
Tough shot, Jay Kuznor.
Cook goes to the step under, off the back of the ring, batted up in the air by Flanoy. Kuznor touched it last, so it'll be a Newcastle ball. We've got a timeout call by Newcastle, I believe, with 2 minutes 18 to go. It's 23 to 30 in favor of the Newcastle Eagles, and really Leicester just cannot score right now.
Absolutely, and you know what, 23-30 is not so bad. I mean, they're awful from the free throw line. They can't buy a bucket from the three-point line, and still, somehow, they're hanging in there. You know, Jay Cousinard can explode. We know Andrew Sullivan can explode. So if they keep it like this and hope that they find a light at the end of the tunnel that enables them to get back in front.
Well, Newcastle, with a little chat here, I mean, I would imagine they would be relatively comfortable with what they've done thus far. I mean, they haven't shot the three-pointer very well. They've missed a few easy ones, but they've had probably easier looks than Leicester have.
They've had easier looks, and they've had looks for Charles, and they've had Paul Gores driving to the basket. So probably their game plan from an offensive standpoint has been fine. From a defensive standpoint, Leicester are missing their shot, so that's probably fine. The only thing I would have thought is they might want it to be having more than 30 points on the board. So maybe that first 5 minutes has cost them 5 or 6 points.
Charles Smith waves away Drew Lasker, and he will do the inbounding duties, gets it to Flanoy. Smith at the free throw line, steps underneath, tough shot, but he's been knocking them down all game. Charles Smith, 16, half his team's offense.
Wow. Well, I guess that's something that the Riders could focus on in the second half.
Cousinard kicks it out just to Anderson. Back out to Cousinard from behind the arc. Finally, Leicester hit one after 10 misses. Jay Cousinard knocks one down for Leicester.
And that's his favorite spot on the floor. Right there, you can put an X on that mark. Jay Cousinard loves that spot.
Smith to reply with 3 of his own, a little short. Calvo did well to keep Lasker away from that, and Cousinard grabbed the ball. Cousinard drives in. Back out to Calvo.
Looking like a man on the mission now, Cousinard. Looking for the ball, hunting it down. Once it reversed around, there he comes.
Shot clock down to 8 now for Calvo. Calvo pulls up for 3. Oh, back-to-back threes for the Riders. They hadn't made one all game.
Well, there you go.
And out of nowhere, it's a 3-point game. Look, now Rowe playing the pressure up on Flanoy. Lasker struggling through, gets it out to Cook for 3. Yes, and Malik.
Everybody's making threes. Daniel, it's raining three-pointers.
Well, we'd had 1 3-pointer in the game up until that moment, and suddenly we've got 3 in a row.
Goodness me.
Sullivan spinning, gets it out. Another one, this time Cousinard. Yes!
4 in a row.
Blinded!
The shootout at the OK Corral. What game are we watching that first 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Look at
Flanoy
this.
drives through, lays it in. No help defense whatsoever. Leicester can have the final shot here of the first half. They trail by 5. The shot clock is switched off. Cousinard glances up. 10
Could be
now.
a 2-point game, Daniel, if he makes another 3. What do you reckon?
I reckon he's going to drive. Here he goes. He does drive through, gets it to Anderson. Anderson, should have scored. Should have scored. Went one way, came back the other. But you have to say, over the course of 20 minutes, 5-point Newcastle lead is about where the game feels like it should be.
Absolutely. The Leicester Riders have hung around, shooting woes, etc. And all of a sudden, bang, 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 they're in it. Yes, they gave one up to the Eagles, but they will be very happy and relieved to be in touch.
We're at half here at the National Indoor Arena in Birmingham, and it's 32 points to Leicester, 37 points to the Newcastle Eagles. Welcome back to the National Indoor Arena in Birmingham. Second half almost upon us, and Vince, before we look at the obvious stats, Charles Smith, Jay Cousinard, the 2 standout players. Scott Martin, 5 blocks in the first half. That is a BBL Cup final record with still 20 minutes to go. But Smith, 16.6 rebounds. Cousinard, 14.6 rebounds. Those 2 have been the 2 key guys for their teams.
Without a doubt, they have been the 2 key guys. The thing is, everybody else is below their average. You know, Paul Gores has distributed the ball well, but below his scoring average. Malik Cook can't throw a rock into the beach from the ocean, or the ocean from the beach, whichever one it is. And, you know, for the Riders collectively, They have got to hang in there and find a way to put some points on the board.
Well, you look at the shooting percentages, and again, the thing that leaps out off the page, the three-point shooting for Leicester is a dismal 23%. Newcastle a little better at 25%, but they've taken 5 fewer shots. Leicester missing their first 10, and their free throw shooting 10 missed free throws in that first half.
Yeah, but you know, the Leicester Riders haven't won any games on three-point shooting this year. The Leicester Riders haven't won any games on free throws this year. Where they've won it is hard-nosed defense, creating easy transition buckets, as well as high percentage shots for Rashad Hassan, Anthony Rowe, and of course Jay Cousinard. They have got to extend their defense beyond the halfway line, or this is going to be a process to the finish line for the Eagles.
Well, back out come the two teams, both with their starting lineups in, and Fab Flanoy is the first to get it. And
harassed by Calvo.
Again. Defoe. They often look to establish Defoe. Good hands from Anderson for the steal.
Great stuff. Start the second half with a steal. Leicester, fantastic effort.
Sullivan. Back to Anderson. Cousinard. He's in trouble here, throws it back hopefully, and it ends up in the hands of Sullivan.
6 seconds on the clock.
And he just blows past Smith, misses the lay-in, but second chance points has been important for the Riders. There's Hassan.
That's where they're going to live, you know.
Oh, turnover, Calvo with the steal, gets it to Anderson. Anderson tried to jam it home. Sometimes you think just take the points, but he did have a big dunk like that last year.
Yeah, and he can do that, you know. He tried to jam it home, and Scott Martin tried for his 6th block. Oh, another steal. 2 steals, perfect for the Riders. They need a bucket here. Where's Calvo going?
Gets it to Hassan. Sullivan. And he hands it over to Calvo. Shot clock down to 10 now. Calvo trying to go past Martin, gets right past Martin. Again, they've beaten their man a few times, but overcooked the lay-in.
You know, sometimes you want the right people taking the right shots. And right then, you know, I felt we needed Cousinard or Sullivan attacking the glass, not Calvo, because you can stay within one of them.
Oh, thrown away again by the Eagles.
3 turnovers in a row. Here comes a timeout. I'm sure Fab Flanoy looking like he's not. Yes, he has.
Well, actually, Dave Forrester signaled it, the assistant coach, and I think Fab said, no, we're all right. But by that time, the table had it blown, and Newcastle with 3 turnovers here at the start. And all right, we give credit for the defensive player coming up for the steal like Anderson, but that was a pass almost to Anderson.
Yeah, but that's what happens, Daniel, and that's why you press teams. You get them doing things they're uncomfortable with. Where's our point guard? Where's Paul Gores? Let's get him on the floor if we're going to win. I know that's what the Newcastle Eagle fans are saying in the crowd. As far as the Riders are concerned, wow, that's what we do. We harass teams and get easy buckets.
The interesting thing, Leicester, if they can get a score here, will have cut the lead down to 1, potentially 0, without really doing anything spectacular. I mean, it's Newcastle giving them the ball back.
Well, you know what it reminds me of, Daniel? It reminds me of a boxing match when we say, well, you know, I'm going to knock him out in 3. And the other guy is thinking, well, you know what? I'm going to take a last-minute attack in the 14th round. And the Leicester Riders look like they're sitting in comfortably for the 14th round.
Back out come the 2 teams here at the National Indoor Arena. A rerun of last year's BBL Cup final, a rerun of last year's playoff final, and indeed of the playoff final the year before. 4 of the last 5 finals between these 2 teams.
And who did the Eagles leave on the bench out of that timeout? Charles Smith. Oh no, it's not Charles. Oh, it's Fab Flanoy left on the bench. Yes, that's more like it.
Anderson.
Ooh, bit of an elbow there.
Cousinard. Hassan at the top of the key. Backs out to the 3-point line. Once Cousinard.
Now, that's what I want to see. This is what I want to see.
Cousinard back out to Anderson. Good ball movement. Finds Sullivan open for 3. Will it drop? No. But an offensive rebound again. Oh, Hassan can't convert that time.
They're doing a sterling job on the glass. The Leicester Riders trying to find a way. Ooh.
Smith bounces off his foot. Sullivan. Oh, Smith gets it back. And Smith gets a fortunate 2 there.
That would have been 4 turnovers in 4 possessions if Smith hadn't picked it up.
Well, despite those turnovers, Newcastle still have the lead that they had at the start of this quarter. Anderson.
Nobody guarding Anderson.
You feel like he's got to hit one of those 3s just to bring them out to him.
They won't go. They're going to let him shoot that all day long, I'm afraid.
Anderson, not quite.
Wow, 10 rebounds, 5 blocks, Scott Martin.
Cook doesn't go. Rebound,
find
Sullivan.
a bucket. He cannot find a bucket.
Oh, that's an ambitious pass by Sullivan, broken up by Defoe, and that'll be a Leicester ball. Charles Smith stepping out of bounds.
He must have heard it was the BAFTA Awards. He was trying to find a little spot for himself alongside 12 Years a Slave, thinking I can get an award. But no, the referee wasn't buying that. Ryder's baseline ball. Wow, both teams have put a lot into this first few minutes, Daniel. Physical effort-wise.
Certainly have, and it's Cousinard to inbound. Leicester need to get this in. They do get it into Sullivan. Back to Sullivan. Cousinard drives along the baseline. Sullivan had to reach out to pull that in. Shot clock getting low on Leicester. Calvo through. I think
off
that
his
came
knee.
off him last. Oh, the referee's going to call a foul, is he? If he is, it'll be on Gores, and it will be his third. It is a foul on Paul Gores. Looked like he knocked the ball off Calvo, but Leicester get it back, and they will have a new 14-second shot clock.
Well, I'm not sure how many minutes Gores plays. I'm not sure that really matters quite now.
Sullivan, shot clock getting low. Sullivan drives in, hacked away by Charles Smith. It's a Leicester ball on the end line with 2 seconds to go on the shot clock.
The referee's being berated by both sides for fouls, but really a tough job in their bodies, hands everywhere.
Need a quick shot here, Leicester, and they get it from Cousinard. Doesn't go, but the long rebound comes out to Calvo.
The guy who does whatever it takes for his team.
Calvo
bobbled.
Gets it back at the free throw line is Anderson. Anderson driving through, out of control, and turns it over.
Goes on the run.
Kicks out to Defoe. Defoe puts it on the floor, drives under great pressure. Ball comes down in the hands of Cousinard. Cousinard drives in too hard. It looked for a minute like Anderson had the best position, but Darius Defoe grabbed the rebound.
The physicality of this game.
Still points at a premium here in the BBL Cup final. Charles Smith with the pull-up too.
Now they've got to push it. The Riders have got to push it.
Hassan runs baseline. Here he is. Squares up. The double team comes down. Hassan goes in, and again, it's not loose from him. He gets it out to Sullivan, and I think there's a foul there on Smith. Well, Leicester made a shot there after the whistle.
Give us the shot back.
It is on Charles Smith, his second personal, and the Leicester captain coming into the game for the first time, Barry Lambo.
Now, there's somebody who can make a 15-foot jump shot.
It's true. Need to get it in. Oh, it's a little short. Calvo did well just to keep that alive, but Gores is out in front. Gores lays it in smartly. Sullivan got out of the way, didn't want to commit the foul.
Well, Sullivan was smart and kept himself away, and Gores was smart by keeping the body in between.
Calvo to Sullivan. Lambo. Cousinard. Oh, he opened up in front of him, and foul called on Defoe.
Good foul, Defoe. Nothing easy in a cup final.
And the way Leicester have been shooting free throws, you might as well send them there. Cousinard just 2 of 5 from this distance, but it is his third personal foul.
It is his third, and the more times you go to the line, eventually you find a way.
Well, Charles Smith on his own was perfect from this end of the floor in the first half, but Leicester scratched that with Cousinard missing. Makes the second. Jay Cousinard, last year's MVP, has 15 points.
And it's a 6-point ball game.
Smith has the quick step. There's been a few times where both teams have done that, and Sullivan falls to the floor, and it was Flanoy sort of caught him from behind. I don't think Fab deliberately meant it, but the problem is, if the guy's going to turn the ball over, the referee has to call that foul.
Third foul, is that?
Well, not too many arguments from Fab in that call.
It's one of those ones you probably didn't want to call it, but once Sullivan lost the ball, they had to.
Hassan, long way from home. Oh, Gore's gambles almost paid off for him.
Want to be careful with his fouls.
Cousineau, a little stop and go. Lamble's wide open underneath.
There you go.
And Barry Lamble, he certainly can make them from 1 foot.
Yep, I think that's a good spot. 1 foot's a good spot. We'll take that all day. And still, it's only a 4-point game.
Cook.
Ooh, yeah.
Hits nothing, and it'll be a Leicester ball, so the shot wasn't blocked. He's arguing with the official.
Yep. Malik Cook is just having the mare. Shooting 3 from 11.
4 points between the two teams, midway through the third. Calvo drives in and bounce pinballed off Flanoy last. So Leicester keep possession. They've had not much luck when they've driven to the basket, Leicester. In fact, most of their points when they have driven to the basket have been putbacks rather than the initial attempt.
Yep.
Lobbed into Calvo. Lamble from 16 feet. Will it drop? Not quite. Gores. Drives through. Oh, circus shot from Paul Gores. Almost stolen away by Cook. Who's that on? Because Gores was close. I'm assuming it is, yeah. Only his second.
They might want to take him out, to be honest. He's really offensively cold. Give someone else a go and let Cook come back when he's had a little think. In the bonus?
Yeah, wow. 5 fouls in this quarter, all on Newcastle.
Well, this will really help the Riders because they've hung around and kept Newcastle away from pulling away from them. Now, any attack to the basket, any foul, could be a free throw shot.
Jorge Calvo, it's one of their more reliable free throw shooters, but the way they've been from the line today, you hesitate to say anything.
2 from 2. Wow, what a relief for the Riders. Now we got some full court pressure as well now. So we got Fab dribbling the ball against Barry Lamble. Who would have thought that?
Yeah, Barry's not going to play full court on him.
No, but he's not going to go to the basket on him either. This is perfect for the Riders. No offense from the Eagles.
Here's Cook.
Oh, there we go.
Cook.
Oh.
Foul on the floor on Jay Cousineau.
Cousineau bailed him out there. Didn't need to foul him. He was about to throw it over the top.
His second personal.
Jay Cousineau has worked hard for his 15 points and 7 rebounds in the Riders' cause. Barry Lamble bringing some of the East Midlands steel around the bucket. Oh.
Smith hits from behind the arc. Charles Smith, the game's leading scorer with 21.
The best shooter on the floor.
Cousineau. Calvo to reply with 3 of his own. Yes, he does.
5 in a row. Calvo.
Well, we haven't had many threes in the game, but when they've come back to back. Here's Gores driving through. Gores off the glass. He'll try and get 3 the old-fashioned way.
Well, the salvo from Calvo wasn't enough as Gores came back with a battling 2. It is like a boxing match, Daniel. It's not pretty, but it's tough.
Anderson back in for Leicester, replacing Lamble. So too is Washington for Calvo. Gores at the free throw line. He's the first Newcastle player to get to the free throw line not named Charles Smith.
Well, the result is the same. Charles 7 for 7. Gores makes his first trip.
Sullivan now bringing the ball up for Leicester.
The point forward position for Andrew Sullivan.
Washington curls it out. Cousineau from behind the arc for 3. Doesn't go. Oh, that's knocked loose by Anderson, but Smith is first to react to it. Gores now. Gores running, drives, gets the shot off. Sullivan with the rebound. Sullivan under all sorts of pressure, keeps hold of it and gets it out to Washington, onto Anderson. Washington gets it back.
This final bristling right here. Oh,
Washington
yes,
for three.
Connor Washington drops the diamond.
And Leicester need that. They need somebody else just to keep the defense honest.
You know, Connor Washington, a young lad, plays the game as it's to be played.
Smith again, yes! Charles Smith has hit another one from behind the arc.
Someone must have shut the doors. All the three-pointers are going in. Hey!
And Malik Cook with a sneaky one.
Oh, well, I guess he was thinking, I can't make a bucket, I need a one-foot one. Got the steal, put it back in.
Eagles lead, back
that was
up
a
to
bad
9
break,
after
bad
that.
break for the Riders, that one, Daniel.
Anderson from behind the arc. Doesn't quite go. Martin with the rebound. We can get a double-figure lead here for Newcastle.
Look at goals. Look at that, taking his time.
Martin with a beautiful spot, traps it down! And the Newcastle Eagles have the biggest lead of the ball game at 11.
Scott Martin. Wow. The game has been waiting to explode, Daniel, and there it was. Bang, bang with the salvo from Calvo. Now everybody's making a bucket.
Well, Scott Martin with 11 rebounds, 5 block shots now, 8 points, has had a very effective game for the Newcastle Eagles.
Yes, absolutely. There's a guy from a very, very high pedigree at school, and he's come in here. He's found his feet slowly. He didn't throw anything up the way Cook has been doing. He just quietly gone about his work, and now he's beginning to assert himself on a hugely entertaining cup final.
Well, Leicester needs something here with 1:46 to go in this third quarter. They're double figures behind for the first time in the game.
Yes, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not as fully familiar with the Riders' team defensive philosophy as I am with the Eagles, having watched the Eagles for so many years and their success. But I really feel the Riders have got a deep bench. They've got to get up here and really get up on the Newcastle Eagles. Otherwise, this way, eventually, the quality of offensive output from the Eagles will take over.
Well, it's the Newcastle fans who are making most of the noise at this moment in time.
Still with Connor Washington at the point spot for the Riders. Andrew Lasker defending Washington.
Sullivan out to Washington. Washington drives in onto Rowe. Anderson penetrates to the basket. Beautiful move from Jamal Anderson.
Young English player, broke through last year, really trying to find a way for his team.
Lasker loses his footing, and they're going to call that one on Washington, who is also on the deck. I think it was a bit of a ricochet. Washington bounced into Flanoy, lost his footing, and ended up tripping up Lasker. But again, similar to the Sullivan, ref might not want it to call it, but he's got to.
Martin.
Smith again from behind the arc. No, not this time. Rowe did well.
Big rebound, Anthony Rowe.
There's Washington. Washington for three again. Not quite.
Oh, unlucky.
And that's tipped out by Anderson, is it? Yes. Referee.
White ball.
Calvo checking into the game for Washington. Newcastle with a 9-point lead. Minute and 5 to go here in the third. Hassan is also going to come in for Anderson.
Bravo doing his harassment again.
Lasker got a little bit of space.
Jeez.
Didn't use it very effectively, I think it's fair to say.
No. I always believe in the right people taking the right shots.
Calvo ran the double high screen into a double team, almost loses it. In fact, the foul is going to be called. Is it Cook?
Or Cook.
or Lasker, one or the other. It is Lasker.
Yeah, he's just reaching at the last second there. That'll be free throws for Calvo.
Well, Leicester needs some points, that's for sure.
Yep. Get these two, get a steal and bucket, we're back to 5.
Well, that one wiped his feet, but Calvo is perfect from the free throw line so far.
Second one.
That's short, but that one also bobbles it.
2 from 2. Here comes the steal. Come on, full court pressure. Let's go. Oh, no, they've called it off.
I think it's just ensuring that certain people bring the ball up more than anything else. Cook gets it to Flanoy. Martin with the turnaround. Tough shot from the elbow.
Goodness.
Shot clock switched off. Leicester can have the last one. They really need a score here. They don't want to go 9 points behind into the final period. Calvo needs to go now. Goes around the screen, gets it to Hassan. Hassan drives in. Good block from Flanoy. And the Newcastle Eagles, with another good period, have a commanding lead in the context of this game, Vince.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we felt that the scoring was going to be critical as to how far the points went up the board. The Riders, I believe, haven't really established what it is they wanted to do in this cup final. I haven't seen the defensive aggression we normally see. They're going to have to find it, or they're 10 minutes away from giving up their crown.
We're at the end of the third. It's the Leicester Riders 49, the Newcastle Eagles 58. I think Rob Paternostro got a warning there from the official, no more, or a technical foul will come. And really, they need something offensively. We go back to, we talked about Downing, their leading scorer. He also is their leading creator, giving assists, and they just can't get the ball in the basket.
No, I know, Daniel, and also Andrew Sullivan has been strangely quiet. The ball hasn't been in his hands enough. I feel like he can attack the Eagles' bucket from the free throw line area. He hasn't done that. Apart from Jace Cousinard getting his 15 points, nobody else has been able to get double figures for the Riders, and that's hurt them. But really, I just feel there hasn't been enough defensive pressure to knock the Eagles out of their rhythm.
But Leicester aren't treble winners for no reason. They will have an opportunity, you feel, in this game at some point to make a bit of a run. They could really do with it being early here in the fourth quarter.
Well, it's going to come along to that point where it's a do-or-die effort. It's going to be now or never, because as it's going now, you know, Charles Smith with his 24 points, Scott Martin with a tremendous 10-point, 12-rebound, 5-block performance. They're beginning to find their rhythm, and the Riders will feel, hang on, guys, let's give it everything we've got now, and hopefully they can find a way through.
Big roar from the crowd there as a little kid in the competition made the shot. Noticeable it was the Leicester fan who beat the Newcastle fan.
Well, that might be a sign. There's Malik Cook saying, God, show me that kid. How was his form? Because right now my form is out the window, 4 from 12. I need to follow through.
10 minutes to go here in the BBL Cup final of 2014. The defending champions are in trouble. They trail by 9. They have the ball. Last year's runners-up in the box seat at the moment.
We need some attack now. We need some attack.
Oh, it's a turnover instead. And the clock very much the friend of the Newcastle Eagles here. Although in last year's cup final, it was the other way around. Leicester had a comfortable lead, perhaps played passively in the fourth quarter, and Newcastle made a charge, but Newcastle straight into a double-figure lead here at the start of the fourth.
No, they've run into a buzzsaw called Scott Martin right now, who's feeling really, really comfortable.
Rowe underneath. Again, blocked. Rowe with the fake at the second attempt. Really, Leicester need to go up quickly. They don't have time to put the ball on the floor like that.
Well, you know, again, the beauty of the Eagles' defense is the way they force you down that side and then all collapse into the middle. There were 4 Leicester Riders guys standing out there who were unguarded because the Eagles had packed in around the basket. However, Rowe got them to foul him.
Foul number 4 on Fab Flanoy as well, so an important one.
Well, right now, Daniel, I don't think that's an issue. Paul Gores is sitting on the bench waiting to come in with 3. Lasker's eased his way into the game. I think this is now coming down to Sullivan, Cousinard and Rowe. Can we find a way through?
Rowe makes both free throws. He's going to get a break as well with Anderson coming in. Leicester pushing it forward. Out to Smith, left open. Dangerous thing to do, and that's why Charles Smith with another one from the three-point line, his fourth of the game.
Yep, the Riders came out with a 2-2-1 zone press off of that free throw, and it just didn't account for the shooting of Charles Smith on the sides.
Hassan driving in, goes past Flanoy and lays it in for two.
Points are beginning to rack up. Flanoy could do nothing on his 4 fouls.
10 points now, the lead for Newcastle. Charles Smith, 27 in the game. Cooks rebounded, pulled down by Smith.
Well, Smith's rebounding and shooting now.
Martin with that tough fall array. This one is short. He's got to watch his back there, Sullivan. Oh, it ended up going to Kuznard. A bit fortunate there for Leicester. Kuznard is blocked again by Martin.
My goodness.
The 8th block of the game by the Newcastle Eagles, 6 of them by Scott Martin, a BBL Cup final record.
Goodness. It's all going awry here from a defensive standpoint. You know, the Riders tried that zone press, it didn't work. I feel they may have to go into a full court man press now and see what they can do with that.
Kuznard into Calvo. Kuznard backing down Cook to a little fall away. That's short. Oh, it's short because there's a foul, says the referee. I think it's Malik Cook called for his third.
And that will be 2 shots for the Riders. That's the way back. Let's see what they do defensively out of this one.
Well, that's been very much the story of Leicester's day.
The thing is, they can't feel sorry for themselves. They've got to still put that effort out there and take it as it comes. They've got to get out there and chase after everything.
Martin in the unusual position of bringing it forward, but he has an easy passage.
Yep, too easy for the 4th quarter of a cup final.
Lasker down to Flanoy. Flanoy out to Martin. Cook. Cook with the shot.
At some point, Cook's got to stop shooting, right? Or he's going to shoot the Riders back into the game.
Kuznard to the glass, doesn't get it to go. And look at that rebound from Drew Lasker. And Kuznard is called for the foul on the rebound.
Well, you know, Fab Flanoy's got all his men rebounding, all his men jumping up and down for the rebounds. He's got everything going in his favor from an effort standpoint.
Well, certainly, if you look at the body language of the 2 sets of supporters, the Newcastle fans on their feet, cheering, enjoying life at the moment. Leicester fans looking anxious, really.
Well, the Eagles fans haven't been able to drink at the well for a while, so you know, they would want to celebrate that. You know, they know what it was like to be winners. They want Newcastle to come back with that trophy. Whereas the Riders fans don't want to lose that taste.
It's going to take some effort from Leicester here in the last 7.5 minutes if they are to do that, though. Cook somehow found a way to the basket and off the glass.
Well, there's a man who has never seen a shot he doesn't like. I'm going to shoot it. Shooters have short memories, they say.
Is that Flanoy? No, it's Gores. Flanoy was in close proximity, and that's the one thing you'd worry about for Newcastle. Flanoy and Gores both on 4.
To be honest, they're over-guarding on that situation. The Riders aren't making a bunch of shots. There was no need to pincer movement. Sullivan there.
Kuznard round the high screen, jumps it a bit too low for Hassan, managed to pull up with it. Kuznard for 3, doesn't go. And again, good rebounding by the Newcastle Eagles.
Well, Nick Cook snares the rebound, goes with the ball.
Cook.
Goodness me. I was just going to say, if he shoots that, I'm going to shoot him. And he did shoot it.
Oh, Anderson missed the layup. I think he was trying to draw the foul, but Hassan gets the rebound. Hassan has it knocked away, and Newcastle come down with it. Smith sets his feet for another one. No, not this time.
Oof, goodness. This is that nervous moment where no one knows, have we won it? Have we lost it? What's going on?
Sullivan gets it to Anderson, and he converts.
You know what? The Leicester Riders could still do this, Daniel. You know, it's a 9-point game with 6.5, 2-point guards on 3 or 4 fouls each. We just need to stop the run, which, you know, they actually have done for a little bit.
They need to string some offense together, which they haven't really done.
There's
Ball
a
not
turnover
loose.
coming along.
Sullivan comes up with it, and Gores commits the foul at fifth. It's his fifth.
There we go.
Needless one as well. Well, Paul Gores, we said the fouls is the one issue in this game. It looks the way it's gone as if Newcastle are in control, but Paul Gores fouls out of the game.
Well, this is where we can test the metal now, because if Fab Flanoy goes out of this game, it gets interesting. What we need now is a 3 from Cousinard on that left spot. Absolutely daft play.
Sullivan turns the corner, lobs it up to Hassan.
Ah, goodness me.
Just want to catch it, go back up.
Just want to put the ball on the glass. If Cook's going to keep shooting, that'll help the Riders.
And Cook loses it off his own foot. Oh, and that'll be a kickball. Unfortunate for
the Riders.
Hassan.
I thought it was
sort
going
of came
out of
underneath him.
5:43. Looking at that scoreline, Daniel, the Eagles only have 65 points.
It's still 9 more than Leicester. That's really all that matters. Lasker drives through. Oh, he's missed it though.
Here we go. Come on, let's go. They're walking. Why are they walking?
Cousinard trying to force it into Hassan. And
well, you know, you can take the horse to water, Daniel, but you've got to be able to be aggressive offensively there.
5 minutes and some change to go here in the BBL Cup final. Looks for all the world like Newcastle are going to hang on here.
Yeah,
still loads of time.
Bravo.
Wow. Wow. When's the last time we saw Charles Smith ball for a travel?
Well, I'm glad you didn't say when was the last time Charles Smith traveled. Your question was much better. Come on now. Connor Washington, make this happen for your team. Although Charles Smith will be crowned the all-time leading scorer in the cup final, which he is.
Calvo, big shot for 3. They need it. They don't get it. Flanoy with the rebound.
Wow.
Cook drives, and he's bumped by Cousinard. He looked like he'd done the job in the first place, Cousinard. But in the end, a little shove, which wasn't necessary. Cook was behind the basket. 4 now on Jay Cousinard, and Leicester cannot afford him to foul out of the game.
No, that's his 4th as well. The percentages for the Riders have just been awful. You know, Cousinard 16 points has come on 18 shots. Hassan's 10 points have come on 14 shots. Just not efficient.
Lasker to inbound. Stolen away by Calvo, but only as far as Smith. Flanoy. Trying to back down on Washington. Kicks out to Martin, big shot, doesn't go. Flanoy though with the offensive rebound. Knocked loose by Washington, Flanoy has it though. Lasker, clock on the side of the Eagles. They can take some time here.
They're taking their time all the time.
Smith. Doesn't quite go. Good tip from Malik Cook.
He loves the 1-footers. Malik Cook. That could be a crucial basket, Daniel, because that sort of killed that drought. This is the attack from the middle. That's what I want to see. The attack from the middle, Daniel. We've been asking for that all game. There's no help when you attack the Eagles from the middle.
But still Leicester trail by 9.
And no pressure on the guy bringing the ball up.
Cook frees some space, doesn't
Another
convert.
miss.
Sullivan with the rebound.
Let's go. Come on, we're under 4 minutes.
Cousinard.
Oh, here we go.
Sullivan for 3. Oh, Drew Sullivan, 5 points in a hurry. This one's still in the balance.
One more stop, Daniel. Oh, come on, Connor, you can do this.
Lasker.
You've got to watch out Charles Smith.
Martin trying to free some space. Lasker, oh, knocked loose by Calvo. That will be a Newcastle ball. 5 seconds on the shot
You
clock.
almost want to give Cook the shot, let him shoot it.
Timeout called by Dave Forrester and the Newcastle Eagles. Just over 3 minutes to go. Newcastle have led for almost the entire time in this game. Leicester had a little lead early on, but 5 points in a row from Drew Sullivan, and it's only 6 between the teams.
Well, you know, we entered that period, Daniel, where I said, you know, the question is, have we won it or have we lost it? And nobody knew what was going on. What we've had the last couple of possessions for the Riders was a 3-point shot from Andrew Sullivan, and just before that, the drive to the basket. You know, that's what the Riders have to do right here. They've got to believe in their system and keep on going. Everyone knows the Newcastle Eagles defense is very much side favored, and the Riders haven't exploited that. If we can push that, there's still enough time. There's 3 minutes to go. They have an opportunity. The Eagles are hanging on. Charles Smith, 27 points. A phenomenal performance from the spiritual leader of the Eagles. But really, it's all about those inefficiencies. It looks to me like Malik Cook will keep shooting. If I'm a Rider right now, I'm tight on everybody. I give a big cushion to Malik Cook. Let him shoot it, and let's run down the floor.
Well, 2 of the top 3 Cup final scoring appearances have been by Newcastle players in the last couple of years. Joe Chapman, 29 in defeat last year. Charles Smith, 39 in victory in an MVP display 2 years ago.
Well, this is going to be a critical period of the game. We've said it all along. Everyone has been critical, and by hook or by crook, it's coming down to that 14th round of the boxing match, where a strong effort.
Smith fires up short. Good, and the rebound pulled in by Rowe. Leicester can get this back into 2 shots.
Attack down the middle, attack down the middle.
Sullivan draws the foul.
3rd foul, Scott Martin.
Didn't hear the whistle at first. I thought, why is nobody going after the rebound?
The crowd are going nuts because the Eagle guys have gone suddenly nervous, and the Riders fans suddenly think they've got a chance. Who else would you want with the Great Britain captain leading you? There we go.
6 points in a row for Drew Sullivan.
Hunting a 4-point possession game.
Seven in a row.
And we have it.
4 points in it was 11.
We need pressure now. Anthony Rowe, get up on your man here.
Lanoy.
Ooh, Sullivan was looking for the steal on this.
Oh, back door, blocked from behind, but there is Lasker to stick it back.
Still time.
But not much of it. 2.5 to play. Sullivan again drives down the lane. Sullivan draws
foul
the foul.
Again. That's the soft underbelly of the defense.
And that is the 4th personal foul on Scott Martin.
If Martin or even Flournoy go here.
Sullivan again from the free throw line. Not this time.
That's okay. Make this one and put some pressure on.
Does make it. But Leicester have got to string stops and scores together here.
Ah.
Lasker sees a little gap, drives through. Washington.
The foul is called.
Called for the foul. I think it'll be on the floor because he did pass the ball away. His 3rd, not that it matters with 2:23 to go.
It's all or nothing. It's that period of time. It's all or nothing now. Uh-oh.
Cook. Martin, sorry, misses from the free throw line, and the rebound pulled in by Washington. Sullivan.
Go. You gotta go.
Calvo.
Uh-oh.
Calvo drives baseline. Calvo out to Sullivan for another 3. He's done it again, Drew Sullivan! Drew Sullivan steps up big for the Riders down the stretch. It's down to 2 and an offensive foul called on Leicester, and with 1:57 to go, Leicester have the ball back.
Is it round 14 yet, Daniel? Is it round 14? The Red fans believe again. The Red fans in the crowd raising the roof.
It looked impossible or improbable a few moments ago, but Leicester can tie the ball game here with 2 minutes to go.
Wow. Andrew Sullivan, 16 points and 10 rebounds.
Here he is again on the ball. Washington drives through, flips it up, doesn't quite go, and the rebound comes down in the hands of Smith. That was the chance to tie it there. Smith drives in, Smith fires it up, misses. Rowe grabs the rebound.
Let's go.
90 seconds to play here in the cup final. Can Leicester
Sullivan's got to attack from this position right where he is.
Or Kuznard maybe.
On the top, yeah.
Calvo to give Leicester the lead. Yeah! Unbelievable, Leicester in front. How has this happened in the last minute or two?
Well, well, well. Never say die. Collective effort.
Here's Flanoy.
Nothing happening here.
Backs out.
There's nothing happening here.
Ooh, oh! Calvo called for the foul.
Well.
It's not 2 shots, though. It's his 3rd personal foul. That is the team 4th, so from now on it will be shots. 55 seconds to go.
Wow. Just need a stop now. The Leicester Riders pride themselves on their defense. I believe they need 1 stop. I believe they will score on the next possession.
Lobbed into Flanoy. Round the screen from Martin. Martin gets it back. Good hands, it's stolen away, the ball is loose on the floor. It will be a jump ball and the arrow's pointing Newcastle's way.
Wow.
But 5 on the shot clock, Leicester never had possession. Dave Forrester screaming to the players on court to make sure they know that. Never had overtime in a cup final before. Just going to throw that one out there.
Thank you, Daniel, just to remind everyone.
It's into Flanoy.
Where's
Flanoy loses it off his foot. Leicester gets in. He doesn't get the shot off in time. A 24-second violation. Leicester's defense did stand firm.
The defense of the best defensive team in the league stood firm when it needed to. I believe they will score on this possession or be fouled. They must now use all the clock.
Here's Sullivan, who really sparked the Riders. Sullivan drives in.
Not yet, too early.
Backs out, 10 on the shot clock.
Now you can go.
They need to score. Sullivan to the runner. Oh, it's come out! And Newcastle can win it with the last shot if they don't lose the ball first.
No point guard on the floor.
Flanoy.
Oh, not
to Cook.
Not Cook.
Cook. Offensive foul on Cook. Connor Washington takes the charge. And Newcastle turn it over with 9.5 seconds to go.
They're going to have to call a timeout, Daniel, because they don't know what they're doing. The BBL Cup final, the best basketball in the country, bringing what was a game that was entirely northern based for the Newcastle Eagles. The collective heart of Rob Paternoster and his charges on the brink of back-to-back victories.
Well, the thing to remember, Vince, is Leicester have been horrible from the free throw line. There's a foul coming their way, assuming they can get it into court, and that will be the key. But you just think back, 4 minutes to go, that Malik Cook tip-in made it 67-58. Leicester have scored 12 points to 2 in the last 4 minutes.
Daniel, we talked about the right people making the right shots. Malik Cook for the Newcastle Eagles has taken 19 shots. Of those 19, he's missed 13 of them. And each and every time, the Riders have gotten a step closer, albeit 1 point at a time. And of course, what seemingly innocuous departure of Paul Scholes has caused an almighty problem for the Newcastle Eagles.
Well, Leicester need to get the ball into a good free throw shooter. Calvo would be the obvious choice. And first of all, you've got to get the ball in. Don't turn the ball over.
I think you just get the ball in, Daniel. I think right now you just get the ball in because you still got free throws to come and you still can play defense. What you don't want to do is turn the ball over trying to find a specific person.
Sullivan it is to inbound.
Cousinard.
They've got it to Cousinard, and he's wide open. They need to foul him. Well, they let a few seconds go there, Newcastle.
6.8 seconds. Cousinard.
Jay Cousinard, who is only 4 of 9 from the free throw line today, will shoot the biggest 2 free throws of the season so far. He's normally a 70% free throw shooter.
I don't really think it matters, actually, Daniel. I think, you know, it's going to be a one-possession game. But here's a thought. Make the first and miss the second.
If you're going to miss one, miss the second. That's certainly the way to go, because it gives you a chance for the live ball. Big shot for Cousinard. And he makes it.
Perfect. I don't see any communication from the Riders bench, but if I'm Cousinard, I intentionally missed this shot.
Oh, I don't think you take that gamble. Charles Smith could come down and hit a 3, lose the game.
There are 6 seconds to go, Daniel. You've got to get the rebound first.
6.8 on the clock.
If he makes this, there'll be a Newcastle timeout, and they'll be able to set up a play for Charles Smith.
He just makes it, and they do call a timeout. And with 6.8 seconds to go, the Newcastle Eagles need a 3-pointer to force overtime.
Wow. Of course, the last game the Leicester Riders did play went into double overtime.
That's true. Last week against Sheffield, at home, Leicester went to double overtime.
You know, Daniel, albeit fans watching on TV, you've got nervous Eagles fans and the equally nervous Riders fans. The British Basketball League only going from strength to strength. Almost 9,000 people in the building watching an absolutely fierce contest for the BBL Cup final. BBL basketball in great shape.
There is, of course, another option here, Vince, for Leicester to consider. A foul. Send them on the line. They can only make 2 points from the free throw line.
You know what? I'm never a fan of that one.
Me neither. I'm not a fan of it.
Whenever you leave that in the hands of the referees, anything can happen. I think if I'm the Eagles, I run a play for the easiest basket I can get.
The other thing is Leicester had a similar scenario away in at Surrey last year, where Surrey tried to foul to keep him on the floor. They ended up fouling Cousinard shooting 3, and
Absolutely.
he won the game.
4-point game.
So it looks like Smith's going to inbound. He might well get it back.
He will get it back.
But all 5 guys on the floor are capable of hitting a 3-pointer. That's fair to say.
The most dangerous man on an out of bounds is the guy who passes the ball in. Charles Smith, here he comes. Here he goes off to the corner.
They can't get him open.
Spam's going to have to shoot it.
He's got it to
found him.
He's got it off. He's missed. And Leicester have come from 11 points down with 4 minutes to play to snatch victory. An unbelievable finish here at the National Indoor Arena. No wonder they're going wild.
Absolutely stunning performance by the Leicester Riders. They believed all the way. It was the most horrible of offensive performances, but they believed that their defense would see them through. The Eagles couldn't find a way through the iron fist. That's Rob Paternostro and his men.
Well, I mean, just sum up what Andrew Sullivan did to his team there. With 4 minutes to go, he went layup, 3-pointer, free throw line, drew the foul. He single-handedly dragged his team back into it.
Not only that, Daniel, is 19 points and 10 rebounds. And he played the game with a steely resolve. His face looked the same in the first second as it did in the last second. He just kept on playing. And that might be what the Leicester Riders have bottled up, the ability to keep on playing.
Jay Cousinard in the crowd there.
Jay Cousinard, he's everywhere.
And then as well. I mean, and then Calvo, that shot at the end, big shot. You think back to this time last year, Zaire Taylor hit a big 3 for Leicester with a minute to go.
Absolutely, but the thing is, Calvo has always said, whatever you want me to do, coach, that's what I'll do. So he just put his pail and hat on and just got the job done. The Leicester Riders have believed in their defense all season long, and it has paid dividends. The Newcastle Eagles found inspiration from Charles Smith. They found an absolute flash from Scott Martin, but they couldn't find a collective team performance. This could be, Daniel, a devastating loss for the Newcastle Eagles.
Well, I must confess, with 4 minutes to go, I just could not see Leicester winning that game. They hadn't been able to string the offense together. Defensively was okay, but Newcastle were finding ways, finding gaps, but somehow they pulled it out of the bag. Credit to Rob Paternostro.
Absolutely, and I said to you, Daniel, with 5 minutes to go, the Riders can still win this, and they got stop after stop after stop.
I didn't believe you, Vince.
Well, a lot of people don't believe me, Daniel, but Rob Paternostro did, as did Anthony Rowe, as did Sullivan, as did everyone on that Riders team. They believed all the way. Fantastic achievement for Coach Paternostro. Connor Washington, a young man there from Bedford, basketball through Milton Keynes, now in Leicester, doing what he does best, trying to showcase his talents. Russell Leviston, the general manager for the Riders, it coincided the success of the Riders with him and Rob Paternostro coming together and really building a program that's only content with winning.
Well, Leicester became only the 4th team in BBL history to make 5 consecutive finals. Newcastle were one of them. Newcastle are the only team to have gone through all 5, winning all 5. Leicester 4-1. That's a pretty good return out there.
Absolutely fantastic. But Coach Flournoy is going to have to look at a lot of things here with his team. They are not very deep. The people on the bench are not very good. They are going to. We thought they were retooling this summer. They haven't fully done that. Maybe they are in transition.
Well, the party has made their way out, handing out the medals. Lord Wasserman, Hugh Morgan, the Chief Executive of England Basketball, Richard Lowry from Bolton, and also the BBL Chairman, Ed Percival, out there.
Wow. If they were tying ribbons on the cup, I guess they were on and off.
Yeah.
Real quick.
They were black and white for a long period of time. Well, the Newcastle Eagles, for the 3rd time in 12 months, have seen Leicester celebrate at the other end of the floor, and they have to go up for the runners-up medal.
It's a tough one for the organisation. It's a tough one for Fab Flournoy. They saw this as being able to lay the ghost of losing out on all titles last year. It was an opportunity to get back onto the winners' roster.
Charles Smith, a word for him as he gets his medal.
27 points, Charles Smith, in a losing effort, the all-time leading scorer in a cup final. Will we see him in another cup final?
He actually broke a cup final record for most free throws without missing. Not that he'll count that in anywhere.
And Scott Martin, as you said, broke the record for blocks.
And Fab Flournoy, he never takes defeat very well, Fab. This one will particularly hurt.
Well, Fab's going to have to really look at what they're doing this year within the organization from a team playing perspective. Paul Gores, we expected fireworks from Paul Gores. It never really came. And Malik Cook won't want to look back on this shooting performance. They know they can play better. They know they are better. But on the day, Rob Paternostro's team achieved.
Well, I mean, in some ways, it hurts even more because it really looked like they were going to win. I mean, that's the killer. You sort of think we had them beat. Well,
that's it.
Well, for the 2nd year in a row, the Leicester Riders have won the BBL Cup, but this one was very different from the first one. They had to come from behind. They had to show their mettle in the last 4 minutes, and that is exactly what they did. Jay Cousineau, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block. Tremendous performance.
He never stopped working, Daniel. He never stopped working.
I think in any other day, he would have got the MVP, Cousineau, but for what he did in the last few minutes, the way he dragged his team over the line, surely Sullivan's going to get it.
You would have thought so, because that will to win is what he's brought to the team, and Calvo, really marshaled the troops very well and made some critical shots for himself on the way when they just needed to hang on to the shirt tails of the Eagles.
And Connor Washington, an excellent performance for him. 2 weeks ago, he wouldn't have thought he would be playing this much in the cup final.
No, that's right, but everyone on the bench has to be ready. We're a collective team. You never know when the call will come.
And Hassan, who just shy of a double-double with 10 points, 9 rebounds, and Rowe did a big job for them again on the glass.
Yep, it wasn't one of those games where anyone was going to stand out for the winning team, but they just did it together. And there's Coach Rob Paternostro. He must be so proud of his guys.
You almost wonder if this one means the most to him because of the manner in which they did it.
He probably does, but you know what? Right now, it's just about the win and whatever it takes.
Well, he's done a lot of this over the last 12 months, Barry Lamble.
I can notice his arms getting stronger.
Yeah, he certainly knows how to lift a trophy. The captain of the Riders gets the trophy, shakes the hands, poses. Got to look at the right camera, Barry. Poses for the cameras, the bank of cameras in front of him, kisses the cup and hoists it aloft. The Leicester Riders have retained the BBL Cup, the first time they've ever won a trophy 2 years in a row.
Well, it's getting to be a habit now for Coach Paternostro. Barry Lambo, captain of the club, they absolutely believe in their system and what they're going to do. They were down a man in Anthony Downing, but it didn't matter. Calvo, Washington both stepped up.
Here we go then with the Most Valuable Player Award. And I think Mike Shaft is going to name Charles Smith, first of all, to say what a great job he did, but it's not going to be MVP. It's happened once or twice, yes, but you don't often get an MVP in a losing cause.
No. He deserves that applause.
And he gets an ovation from everybody here at the NIA, Leicester fans, Leicester players, Newcastle fans. But I can only assume, for what he did in the last 4 minutes of the game, Drew Sullivan is going to be the MVP. But all of that doesn't sum up what Andrew Sullivan did in the last 4 minutes of the game.
No,
he
absolutely.
Just refused to be beaten.
And you know, there's a lot of young players on the Riders team. That's part of the philosophy of the Leicester organization. You know, Connor Washington, Anderson, they're all young players, and they all look to Drew Sullivan as to the way to be the consummate professional, and he's led them. And his attitude, his never say die attitude, got him over the line.
Well, he was the MVP against Leicester for Newcastle in the trophy final 6 years ago. He's the MVP for Leicester against Newcastle here at the National Indoor Arena. A phenomenal final 4 minutes by the Leicester Riders have seen them beating the Newcastle Eagles 72 points to 69.
Absolutely great performance from the organization. We did talk, Daniel, earlier on about the magic number being 78, 79, thereabouts. And as long as it stayed under there, there was no way that the Eagles were going to win a game if they couldn't put 80 points on the board. They had to put 80 points on the board in order to put the Riders to sleep. And
the thing about it was, we look up at the scoreboard, with 4 minutes to go, it said 67 for the Newcastle Eagles. At the final buzzer, it says 69, and that was the thing. They were going along nicely. They probably would have got to that magic number that you threw out at the beginning of the game, Vince. And then suddenly, down the stretch, Leicester said, no, 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 no.
No, especially when they came out, when the Eagles came out and turned the ball over 3 times in a row. That just kept on breathing life into the Riders' belief of what they could achieve. And eventually, someone had to go to the bucket. Someone had to make a shot. Calvo hit a 3, and then Sullivan took the thing over. And here we are now with back-to-back champions.
Yeah, and sometimes you get a sense when a team wins as many trophies as Leicester have won over the last year or so, they get a bit complacent almost at the final buzzer. Oh yeah, we've won, we expected. But you saw in the reaction how much that meant to them to have dug it out like that.
Well, the best thing that could have probably happened to the Riders was the fact that Downing wasn't playing. So they already felt they were behind the black ball. So they knew they were going to have to pull everything out, and that's what they did. In fact, it probably was the other way around for the Eagles, because they were coasting along, Charles Smith popping shots in like pills, and basically it looked like they were never going to lose. But really, that's why we play this game over 40 minutes.
Did Newcastle get a little passive down the stretch? Did they try and take the air out of the ball a bit too much?
Well, I don't think they tried to take the air out of the ball, but I'm not sure where the spearhead was. If the spearhead was Malik Cook, he was missing shots. Charles Smith was doing what he was doing, but nobody else was chipping in. Martin does what he does night in, night out for the Eagles, but there wasn't a pattern of play. There wasn't a fast break transition situation where Paul Gores could make the Riders pay. So they were just chugging along, and chugging along isn't good enough.
Lambo straight into the crowd, found his wife, for a big hug for her, and I mean, they will enjoy this long into the night, the Leicester Riders. It really was a phenomenal performance. Maybe not the greatest game they will play all season,
no,
but Rob Paternostro, over the 5-6 years that he's been at Leicester, the one thing he's been consistent about is it doesn't matter what the score is at halftime, at three-quarter time, with 4 minutes to go. It matters what the score is when the buzzer goes, and no team plays 40 minutes and just relentlessly keeps going at it better than Leicester.
Absolutely, and it's also about never giving up and being pesky and hanging around. And that epitomized the way Rob Paternostro used to play the game. He played it for 40 minutes. It was a nuisance for 40 minutes. It was in your face for 40 minutes. And then we'd look at the score at the end of the day. And that's what he's infused into his band of merry men.
Well, it's been a phenomenal day here at the National Indoor Arena, particularly those who came dressed in red and black. The 2014 BBL Cup champions are the Leicester Riders. For Vince McCauley, I'm Daniel Routledge. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.